Bobby Moore and Sir Jeff Hurst, the Trevor Brooking and Billy Bonds, Paolo Di Canio, West Ham United. We celebrate our victories, we stick together in defeat. Proud of our history, West Ham United, more than just a podcast. More than just a podcast.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. This is More Than Just a Podcast. Season 11, episode 33. We're back. No Canning Town Len tonight. No Georgie Porgy. Where is George tonight? I would imagine he's still a little bit delicate after his
he's just come back from a extended weekend stag do in Barcelona. So yeah,
and he was at work. Yeah,
and he's had to do work today, and I think he's just tired.
I bet. I'm a bit tired. I only got back. I'll tell you a story about Dublin later, but it was a shambles. Airports are a shambles at the moment, and I
makes a change for you just to be in the country this specific moment of time.
I know. Well, I came back midnight last night, although I sat on the tarmac for 1.5 hours after a 50-minut ride from Dublin. But that's another story, and it is a football podcast, and we're here to talk about 2 games of football. But before that, I've got to eat some humble pie, and I've got to make an apology. I listened back to the last episode where I made light of the cost of living, and I found it incredulous, and I made a joke about and it was that, some people wouldn't afford it, and some people called me entitled or out of touch, and I'm sure all those things are true, but I want to apologise because I think I did go over the top, and I wasn't very thoughtful of what people are going through. So I'd like to apologise to all the listeners and to the presenters here if I cause them any grief on social media, because just sometimes I don't think. Sometimes I think I'm a bit funny, and I understand when I listen back that I'm probably not. So
you're not. Yeah, so it's like I've known you a long time, Sean, and you're not funny.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, though. Yeah. And anyway, I've said sorry. Is that enough, boys?
That's fine. I mean, it's not me that you offend. I'm so used to it. I just goes,
So I do know.
I see it and it goes over. But
yeah. Anyway,
I'm fine.
Let's move on. I'm not gonna. I know nothing about this subject. I'm not gonna talk about it. Let's talk about football. We had 2 games of football. The first one was obviously against Lyon. I watched it in Heathrow, Terminal 5, because my plane was delayed. But I did get to watch it. I literally, as the last minute of extra time's being played, my plane literally took off. So I got to watch all of it. But I can't say, because I watched it on a small iPhone, that I watched it in any detail. So I'm going to have to rely on yous twos to talk about it. Obviously, went down to 10 men. Obviously, took the lead. And I'm sure we're all happy taking a draw and taking it to Lyon this Thursday. Let's start with you, Johnny. This could be the quickest podcast ever if you go, I didn't watch it either. I was flying to somewhere else.
I haven't been away for over 2 years, Sean. I just can't afford it.
You need to get out, mate.
I can't afford it. It's tough times.
All right. Don't make me feel any more guilty than I already do.
Yeah, go on.
So, was it the right tactics? Who was it sent off? Cresswell, did he deserve to be sent off? Should we have done better? Were Lyon tricky? I mean, fill in the blanks.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen anything of Lyon, so I mean, they look like a hardened team.
Quite defensive, quite a sturdy, solid.
Yeah, they looked an experienced European outfit.
Mm-hmm.
They had all the tricks in the book, and they were all bought by the suspicious referee.
Are we being a bit biased then with I know the referee had been banned for 6 months for match fixing, and there's the whole thing, French,
I
German
do find that.
alliance.
I do. Well, I don't think there's a French.
Are we a little bit rose tinted in our view of the referee?
I'm sure we are to some degree, but a lot of neutral commentators, whilst they didn't say, a lot of people saying he's corrupt and did whatever, a lot of people saying the ref had a stinker, and I do think he had a stinker.
Yeah.
And whether I do find it incredible that someone who's been done for match fixing in the past can end up refereeing at that level again, sort of thing. But that's probably, everyone deserves a second chance.
Well, let's talk about that incident. I'm going to get Nigel to talk about it as well, but let's talk about, he brought down Dembele. At best, the way I saw it, and I saw the replay, it was a soft foul. He put an arm on him, but you've got to be careful in these kind of situations. The real bad bit for me is the wink from Dembele when the camera zoomed in on it, and he knew what he was doing. It sort of implied that that's what he was after.
Well, right, so Nigel,
was it a red card first? Well, I've seen them given.
Let's ask Nigel, you were there, and that would have been, was that in front of you?
No, it was up the other end.
Up the other end.
In front of Bobby Moore.
Okay, you didn't really see it.
Well, he went down soft. You can see Creswell put his hand out but he didn't really pull him back. It was one of them just to knock him out of his stride. It wasn't to stop him, because he put his arm out and pulled it back, and we could see that from where we were, and then he's gone down. Obviously, we don't know, is it penalty area, is it what?
Was it a goal scoring opportunity?
No, and this
is the big one.
No, I don't think he.
I think we lost Nigel, have we? Yeah, we have. John?
Well, yeah, the reason I was asking Nigel is because I thought it might have been right in front of him.
And we lost you, Nigel.
So, say that again, Nigel.
Mate, it's got to be your internet, Sean.
It's not.
Zoomer to the left was there as well. So I would argue. The only thing is, you got to criticise Creswell for doing it, because what he did was he gave the referee a decision. I honestly believe if that was in the Premier League, with a Premier League ref, and this is where we all moan about, people moan about referees, the Mike Deans of this world, and Atkinson and everything else. I bet they would not give that as a red card. And I don't get the VAR bit as well. Why not go and look at it again just to make sure?
Clear
because
and obvious.
You can see he touches him, pulls his hand away. The bloke takes 2 to 3 steps and falls down. And basically, he fell over in the penalty area. And what does that say? Because he got tagged outside the penalty area. So he's tried to win a penalty. That's what he's tried to do.
Yeah.
By going
and
down
then the wink.
Well, look, the wink, a lot of people have done that in the past. That's
Ronaldo.
That's
Winker. Bloody winker.
That's one of them things, isn't it?
Child abuser.
The worst thing for me is the dive, not the wink.
Yeah.
And this is what
so
I don't
why
get.
Did VAR? Well, I've got another question for both of you. Why have we not made an appeal?
Because it's a one-match ban, and they probably think it's not worth the. And UEFA don't tend to overrule these decisions.
Heard that.
It won't be looked upon as an incorrect decision.
No.
The red card the level of the punishment is incorrect.
Are
I
we
think.
though biased in our views though? This is what I'm getting to.
Put it the other way round, and that's Antonio, and you'd like to think that rationally you think, well, we were lucky for him to get a red card there, but the way I saw it, Zuma did. Steve Zuma hadn't slowed down. When you watch the replays, like we did, obviously not on the telly, you see Zuma for some reason took his foot off the gas and left it to Creswell. If he'd have carried on at pace, he would have been alongside him. And then basically Creswell sort of touched him with his arm on his shoulder. He did take another step or two and then went down. but Creswell sort of touched him and tried to jump goal side of him to cover,
Mm-hmm.
sort of step across him. So, but he'd already touched the ball before Creswell touched him, and he'd taken that ball away from goal with his first touch. So, as far as I'm concerned, he wasn't going towards the goal. It wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. Now, because Creswell touched him and he went over
Yeah.
easily, then I would have thought, okay, free kick, yellow card.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting, not a red card
No.
by any stretch of the imagination. But-
So, I mean, I think everybody said on the group, and I think, probably in Barcelona, Jules summed it up saying that's the game, that's the tie spoilt. He spoilt the tie. We go into half time, and 7 minutes after half time, after we restart the game, we take the lead. Through Gerard Bowen. Jared Bowen. Decent goal again.
I think the deflection helped.
Yeah, it
If I'm
did.
being truthful.
Yeah, but
But
last week it counted. This one counts, right?
yeah,
When it went the opposite way.
no. To go down to 10 men against a good European team, I don't think they're the force that they were.
Yeah,
But they're still got a lot of decent players in there. They're misfiring in the league, so they're underperforming, and it looks like they're saving themselves for Europe. So, and for me, it was a fantastic performance by the 10 men, both defensively and more defensively. Actually, I think Dawson was
And mentally, Dawson was yeah.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, Dawson had a great game.
And Fornals was
busy bee,
incredible.
isn't he? He's like a
Yeah.
wasp for now. That should be his nickname, the wasp.
Areola kept us in it. He made a good save as well.
Yeah.
Really good save. I think they all played their part.
I must admit, Ben Rama in the first half, I don't know if he was unlucky to be taken off, because I think he was the obvious one to make way once we had to bring Ben Johnson on. He had a glorious chance. He had some lovely footwork on the ball, and I don't know whether his future lies in England and whether his best football will be played on the continent, but he's got so much talent, and yet he's like the son of Aaron Lennon, because he's got all this ability on the ball and the
no
final bit.
product. Yeah.
And this is the thing. You can be a fancy Dan as you like. If there's no final product, it means nothing. Beckham couldn't do anything like that with the ball, but he could put the ball in a sixpence for a tacker to head it in or slot it in. And Beckham didn't need to beat a player. He could cross the ball from anywhere. And why? That's the final talent, which Ben Rama hasn't got. Can he get it? Well, I live in hope that he can get it, but I see a lot of similarities in players like him, and at some point Andros Townsend was another one who did all this trickery, but there was a bit missing. Maybe a bit harsh. I think Townsend was perhaps a bit better than that, but definitely an Aaron Lennon type player. And it's a shame, but the performance, it was disappointing to concede in the way we did. I think Ben
Ryan
Johnson's
Fredericks.
carrying an injury. Well, I think Ben Johnson's carrying an injury.
We'll talk about injuries later.
Yeah, well, he was holding his hamstring at the end of the game, or he's holding the back of his thigh. Let's just say that, because that was right in front of us.
Just tell you what, I missed this earlier. I should have said what Moyes said. So Moyes said to BT Sport, the tackle on Bowen leading up to the red card was a foul. I
it
would
was.
have expected VAR to intervene. It was in the same phase of play, insisted Moyes.
It was a foul. He
Anyway, let me give you a quick stat attack, because I know you like them. West Ham had 28% possession, believe it or not, at home, which means Lyon had 72%. We had just 5 shots, 3 on target. They had 23 shots, 4 on target. We had 3 corners, they had 2. We fouled 11 times, them 6 times. Nigel? I think we've lost John. He needs to refresh. What do you want to add about the game?
I don't think it even off field with the crowd. I don't think it reached the dizzy heights of Seville, and perhaps it was because Seville were actually, and as a team, a performance a notch above Lyon. So, and perhaps that's why there's a little bit of disappointment with the draw, because I think Lyon possibly we could have done better. The first half we weren't that great. To be honest. Lyon had a lot of the ball, but to go down to 10 men against European opposition and take the lead, get a 1-1 draw.
Yeah,
fantastic. Can we do it? Well, of course we can. We were 1-0 down against Metz after the home leg. So we all know what happened there. If you don't know, read all about it on 6foot2.co.uk tomorrow, because that's my story tomorrow, the Mets game. So even though in the Mets game we had Di Canio, Trevor Sinclair, Mark Keller, Frank Lampard Jr., Paolo Wanchop. It's funny because when you look at it, you think of this team, and this is one of the best ever West Ham teams in the Premier League era. Yeah? Were you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But then when you look at it, you think, right, Antonio, well, who's better? Who would we match Antonio? Is Di Canio better than Antonio?
No.
Yeah.
Is Antonio better, did you say?
No, is Di Canio better than
of course
Antonio?
he is, yeah.
Yeah. One chop, Bowen.
Yeah. One chop's better than Antonio.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? So now you're thinking, hold up a minute. Mark Keller was more the Fornals type. I suppose you would say Declan's better than Lampard, but Frankie got the goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think there's a funny stat. I think that Declan's now played the same amount of games as Frank Lampard Jr. for West Ham.
Interesting.
So
let me ask you a question, since you were there. My son was there. My cousin and quite a few. Obviously, I was at the airport.
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere like?
No, it was good. Seville, I think, will be the pinnacle for the season.
It didn't come across like the Seville game.
No, it didn't.
And I'll tell you why, and I'm not going to criticise. I don't think it's on the fans, and this is the thing. With the Seville game, we knew what we needed to do. What we was watching was the first half of the tie. And it's like...
It's hard, yeah.
Unless we'd have gone... we couldn't roar them on. We didn't know we needed to roar them on, even though the atmosphere was great. And it'll be interesting to see what it's like Burnley on Sunday, because we've had the Villa game before Seville. We had the Everton game before Lyon. 2 league games, both flat as anything.
Yeah.
Absolute flat, where 45, where 15,000 fans haven't turned up that have got a ticket to the game. So
there was a bit of trouble, wasn't there? Obviously they cut away on the TV, but we know there was a couple of pitch invaders. One obviously came on in a build-up. 19-year-old. I'm not going to name him. It's quite well known, and he's made an apology, so I don't think it's fair to name a 19-year-old. But according to his cousin, he's a Chelsea fan who's been to a few West Ham games.
How do you know it's his cousin?
Well, I don't.
A kid on Twitter went, "I'm his cousin."
Yeah,
right.
I do.
So this Chelsea fan's gone there in a new West Ham shirt.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
I'm not buying.
You're not buying. He's a Chelsea fan.
I'm not buying it. I'm buying. He's an idiot.
He is an idiot. Yeah.
I can only tell you what my daughter, who was annoyed about it, even though she doesn't, get involved that much. She told me from the world of TikTok that he was definitely a Chelsea fan, and he got a bet to do it.
Well,
and there's a video of him before being jumping into the crowd and all that.
I don't know what type of youth we get listening to this show, but if you are a youth, spread your mind a bit further than TikTok, please. Yeah, and bants and everything like that, because it's not making the world a better place. You might think it's funny, but the rest of
The,
us don't.
in front of the stand where I sit, according to my son, he sent me a picture as well. There's this air horn with a,
Yeah, he got thrown. Yeah.
hitting him on almost to the chin, his hands up to his eyes as they threw it at him.
I mean, the funny thing, I shouldn't say perhaps funny, but what the funny thing about that is, so the geezer jumps out of the crowd up to the advertising hoarding. So now he's committed a criminal offence, yeah, to throw that air horn. Before he's thrown the air horn, which could be like ABH or assault with a weapon, you know. So to do that,
He's probably going to get just as bad, or if not worse.
Yeah, but you know what the funny thing
punishment. Go on.
He jumped back in the crowd and ran off.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, but you know what they're going to do.
It's the good old days.
Yeah, I know, but
I know.
CCTV.
CCTV. Well, they've still got to track him down. I mean, the only thing
was it worth going? Right?
Was it worth going?
Or would you go, actually, considering I would have watched that from home?
Yeah, but you know I'd never do that.
I know, but I'm just asking.
So you're asking the wrong person, isn't it? I mean, despite the aggravation I
all
had
right,
getting a bus,
let me ask John. John, do you wish you'd have gone?
No, I'm
There you
right.
go.
That's all right. It's not that I wish I'd gone. I mean, if I was in the routine of going again and still or whatever, I would have been there. But
Yeah.
no,
the only one thing I will say is that I stayed in Plaistow, so I parked my car in Plaistow. Had to try and get a bus to Stratford, so I got the 7:10, and I've just made kick-off. For a night game, that is a god-awful place to go to.
Yeah.
It really is a god-awful place. I understand why Lynn don't go with a night game. So, you know.
Anyway, let's move on. Let me make a second confession. I didn't really watch the Brentford game. I was in a harbour in Howth in Ireland, just off the coast of Dublin, and I was sort of doing a bit of sightseeing around there. WB Gates used to live there. I'm sure you know that. And I was walking up on the cliffs. And I was with people that meant I really didn't get to see the game. And I had it on my phone, but to be honest, when I saw us go 2-0 down, I switched off. John, did you make it to the bitter end?
I did watch it to the bitter end. Yes.
Where did it all go wrong?
I don't know. It was a pretty sort of flat performance. They come out all guns blazing, but we were just. It looked.
Were we tired? Were we
uninspired? I don't know. It's just it was a bit of a flat performance all round. I mean, we did manage to nick possession for like pieces of like sections of time and get control of the game at times, but we never really threatened. And again, the likes of Antonio were just, whilst Antonio's been pretty awful for the last few weeks, but he does manage to still occupy and. Some games he may not, obviously doesn't score, but some he's worth his weight in gold because the way he sort of occupies the defenders and manages to the ball sticks and things like that. But that game on Sunday, he was pretty darn awful, and yeah.
I mean, we were
nothing up front.
0-0 at half time, but you're saying nothing really in that first half.
No, it was just a poor display all round, really, and they were clearly. I mean, they needed one more win to be safe, and
it might be. There's not a lot to talk about. Let me give you a stat check, and I'll ask Nigel. Brentford had 47% of the possession, which means we had 53. They had 15 shots, 7 on target. We had 5 shots, 1 on target, which sort of tells the tale. We had 6 corners there, 4, but we didn't use them. Nigel. Zuma obviously got injured as well during the battle.
Yeah.
Who's to blame?
Yeah, but you keep doing.
Who do you blame, Nigel?
Yeah, come on, point the finger.
Yeah, but you know
Moyes
that
out.
ain't going to go.
Moyes out.
I'm not going to go. There's no one to blame. This blame game that goes on does my head in. There is
I know it
no
does, that's
one
why I
to
asked
blame.
you.
I know that's why you're doing it, and no matter how you do it, I'll never turn around and go, "Oh, he's to blame," or "That's to blame." There was no one single thing to blame. It was, it did look like a team that had one eye on a bigger game. You know, it's look. I remember 1980. Just before, I think it was before the FA Cup. I don't know if it was the final or the semi-final, and we had Shrewsbury. The Shrewsbury was shit. Yeah, let's not get up. They beat us 3-1. I think it was before the final. They beat us 3-1 at Upton Park, and this was the team that went and won the FA Cup. I think a couple of players have been rested, but you know, it was the basis of it, and West Ham, throughout our history as a club, has always been capable of losing to the likes of Brentford. The fact that we've lost twice to Brentford this season is a disappointment when you look at it, because you think, well, there's 6 points. Realistically speaking, no disrespect, because if you look at Brentford in the 2 games, they play really good football. They by far out-attacked us, possibly in both games. And they were fortunate to win at the London Stadium with a late goal, but they fully deserved their victory at whatever Brentford Stadium is called.
The Brentford Community Stadium, isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, so I haven't got a problem with the defeat, with the manner of defeat. It's just a defeat.
Bad day of the office, move on.
Yeah, we move on
All right.
now to Lyon and to Burnley.
Well, let's move on. Let's not talk about it. Let's not dwell on it, because I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything really to take out of it. Ben Rama,
I mean, the
I think
injury is a problem.
Ben Rama came the closest. I think he sort of got the tip roof of the net, but I don't.
Well, the other funny thing is, didn't he get a good reception as well? They
He
obviously,
did, yeah.
they obviously still like him.
Well, he scored somewhere like 17
and
goals.
of course, he's in the middle of Ramadan as well.
Well, I tell you, there is a one thing about Brentford, which when you look at the face of it, is they've got a certain philosophy, and how they've achieved where they got to is that they scrapped all their youth teams a few years back, and they thought it weren't worth concentrating on youth teams, especially being that they would add, you know, Fulham, QPR and Chelsea on their doorstep. So what they decided to do was to pick up the kids that had been pushed by the wayside from the youth academies in London, take a chance on them, but play friendlies as a reserve team. And what they did was they try and get competitive games, so against teams around Europe, and they do it that way rather than enter like a youth league under 23 or whatever. And they've achieved Premiership football off the back, I think, of the last 3 years selling their best players, to the point that when they got promoted, they'd actually sold Ollie Watkins and Ben Rama, who had been their 2 best players when they failed in the playoffs. So to get up is a great achievement. To stay up, I think, is a fantastic achievement when you look at the struggles the likes of Fulham and Watford and Norwich have done in the past seasons when they've won the league and haven't managed to stay up. So you got to look at the way Brentford run their football club and applaud it, really.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, look, they deserve the 3 points. There's no denying them that. As you say, injury news.
Yeah.
Mark Noble has got a virus. Whether that makes any difference, but I'm sure he'll be over it and back
we
in
missed
the team.
him. Yeah.
Ogbonna is still trying to get his match fitness. He is training now with the team, so he's a fight
On grass.
on grass. So you know, hopefully he can start being on the bench by the end of this month. But the big loss has obviously been Kirk Zuma.
Captain Kirk Zuma, was it?
Yeah, so
Oh.
obviously he originally Moy said he twisted his ankle, so we have to wait to see what's going on. So breaking news tonight from our senior sources at the club say he had a scan on Monday. It's not looking good. He is wearing a protective boot. He is on crutches. They're furious at the scissor tackle on him. And there is no way in hell he's going to play on Thursday. And by the sound of it, it sounds very doubtful whether he'll be back for Sunday, for the Burnley game. So I hope he's going to have a second scanner here, and I was told that tonight. So before we talk about ligament damage or anything else, we don't know at the moment, but he is out. It's not a twisted ankle, and he is out for this week at least, which is a shame because he's immense in our team, and no disrespect to Diop, but Diop can't do what Zuma can do.
I think if we don't lose Zuma, we don't lose the Brentford game, or we could have got a draw. The funny thing is, when he went off and they brought Diop on, Charlie, who was sitting next to me, said, "It's funny that, isn't it?" And he went, "Why?" He said, "Because we're playing the two people together that you always say we should never play together." And basically that is, if you look, we've got 4 centre-backs. So at the start of the season we had 4 centre-backs: Ogbonna, Zuma, Dawson and Diop. And then if you looked at as pairings, you would have Ogbonna with Dawson or Diop. You would have Zuma with Dawson or Diop. And you would have, we would love Ogbonna and Zuma together. But what you really wouldn't want would be Diop and Dawson together.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to complement each other. And I think it showed. And it's a shame, Kirk being out for Lyon because it makes it a struggle. Yeah.
Well, they've had their own injury problems. I think they lost at the weekend, and they've had a few. I think the goalkeeper's injured, and they've got a few injuries. I can't remember all the names, but hey.
But they did rest a few players.
Yeah, they did. They made 7 changes. So look, we got to win it on Thursday. Big night for us. I don't think any of us are going over to France, but we'll be eagerly awaiting it and hoping.
Did you see their tweet today?
No.
Have you not seen it?
No.
Europa League official Twitter put who's going to go through of these 4 ties, and they put their official account put up as if we're not going to go through, with a meme underneath it. So,
that's not very nice, is it?
Yeah.
Don't like the British, do they?
Well, there is as well. There was some strange thing passed in France. I'm trying to find it, where they've basically passed a local law, sort of banning West Ham fans without tickets from the game. So
banning them from and banning anyone who's not in your way end from the game, innit, or something.
Yeah,
that's the French. They don't like the British anyway. I like France. The only problem with France is the French. Well, I'll get in trouble this week now as well for saying that.
Yeah, you just don't think, do you? You just...
It's a joke.
Yeah, like you said, you think you're funny.
Yeah, I know. Let's move on to a new section. Let's talk about... so, obviously, we had talk about season ticket. We know now the season ticket rise is not 20%, as I said. It is a more reasonable 5%. Now, I know 5% will still be seen by some when they're being squeezed as a point too far. But alongside... and look, people will vote with their feet, right? Let's see how many people renew. Every year, people say, "Oh, that's the last time," etc. But if the squeeze on people's disposable income is as bad as you all say it will be, then we could see a record number of people not renewing their season ticket this year for next season. They are pushing through to move to 62,500. As part of that, they're reconfiguring the West Ham. So I got an email, like thousands of others, telling me they were going to relocate my seat. I am in row 19, as John used to be, and we've still got those seats, with other people now that John used to own. I'm still in row 19, but I'm moving back and over to the left a little bit more, so close to the centre line, but back about 4 rows. And I've got maps of how it looks. So it is true, right? So first of all, if you haven't seen it, first of all, only about, I estimate, 300 seats are moving closer to the pitch in the 2 corners, right? So secondly, it's not being squared off like behind the goals. It is still, so towards the corner flag, those 2 corner flags on the West Ham, those 2 are moving forward. The gap is widening, so behind the stand the gap is widening between where Nigel is in the West Stand and there, and I know that he's got problems with that. And they are creating, and this is the real thing, they are creating a new 1966 area for the corporate. Well, not, they call it corporate, but premium. Let's call it premium seats. So what is the reason for doing this? Well, the reason for doing this is being sold as it's a better experience for fans, but in reality, London Stadium, who are funding it, are doing it because it's going to be cheaper to move the stands in athletic mode and pop music mode, and they're going to save millions, right, by spending another 15 million. West Ham have the right to veto. They're doing it, and I'll be honest, and they should be honest about this, they're doing it because they get more premium seats to sell. It's not about being closer to the pitch. It's not about squaring off the stand. It's about selling more premium seats. And I'm going to add one last bit. So, went to the senior source, or a friend went to the senior source while I've been away, and said, look, a lot of people are not happy. A lot of people, I'm not unhappy with my seat, right? It won't make a lot of difference to me. A lot of people.
You're being moved back 4 rows and being charged
about
a little
4
bit more.
rows. 4 rows are moved slightly to the left, so close to I have the view that I've been shown is similar, John. It doesn't bother me as long as I'm moving with everyone else. That's so this is what the unofficial response from the club is, which is saying
Tough shit.
well, it says, I'm afraid it is what it is. There's nothing we can do. We are trying to get better seats, and it will slightly look better. Our problem is the lower tier was vastly underpriced from day one, while seats on the top tier are priced almost the same, but very few want them. However, it should be remembered that our season tickets are a fraction of Spurs and Arsenal, and that's why we can't compete with them financially. So basically,
it's
no, I'm just
It's such a load of bollocks.
I'm just repeating what a senior source
that's
says.
brilliant. That's brilliant.
It's so deluded, isn't he?
I'm just
He's
saying.
so
Do you
deluded.
know what? I don't think it's deluded.
Poison little dwarf.
But
Whoever it may be. Sean.
I don't know about that. But what it says to me is, and this is the thing, is hold up a minute. That ain't what you was saying in 2013. And in
No, of course
2013, hold up, and I will
Affordable football.
sort of bang up. No, in 2013, West Ham's own estimates were that they would get 50,000 fans attending football.
Yeah.
That was their own. Now they're getting 10,000 more, and the income from that 10,000, and yet they're still coming out with, oh, but because we got to sell it cheap. There's a reason why you got to sell it cheap, Dave. It's because the views are shit. Now, while the football is good, believe it or not, the thing I've always said, the best marketing tool West Ham have is put a decent team on the pitch and people will pay to watch it. So people will pay for shit views to watch a game of football. Hence why we used to go to Wembley, because the views were shit at Wembley. But what people won't do is pay money for a shit view to watch a shit football team. You have to excuse my French, kids are listening, but getting you prepared for Thursday night. So they've always failed to acknowledge this. But the thing where they go wrong is this. Vice Chairman Slag Brady said, obviously I was inserting my own word there, We are always listening to our supporters and working hard to improve their experience at London Stadium in line with the fantastic feedback we've received from them. The expected increase in capacity will see the London Stadium become one of the highest attended grounds of the capital. We're already there, love. And indeed the country, giving an even greater number of our supporters the opportunity to watch our exciting team in action. Bearing in mind the extra 2,500 seats look like they're going to be premium seats, yeah? So waffles on about fantastic moments. David Moyes has said everyone here is doing everything we can to grow and develop this club on and off the pitch.
And what year was that?
This is the what West Ham have put on their website in regard to this reconfiguration. Yeah.
I'm reading a different
one of my favourite bits I will add is that after 2 seasons of price freezes across the board. After 2 seasons of price freeze, it's a bit hard to charge fans for people when they can't even go to the game.
You forgot the
season.
79p in the lowest submission band.
Well,
79p a game.
How can you claim to have 2 seasons of price freezing when 1 season was without fans totally? Come on. So what you've had is 1 season of price freeze. You couldn't put the prices up. We weren't there. You couldn't put them up again because you didn't know how long in August whether we'd be back or how long for we'd be back. So
the key line for me, right? I know they go. Is London Stadium capacity going to increase to 62,500? Subject to approval.
Yeah.
The West Stand tier will be reconfigured to develop a more traditional football stadium layout. No. Bringing the upper and lower tiers together. No. And more fans near the action. Now, you could say yes, more fans being 300, but the bringing the upper and lower stands together, no, it's not. Not from the map they've sent me, and it's think a more traditional.
But this is the thing. If they're and this is where I always go. If you tell the truth, if you are honest, the fans, whether they like it or not, because at the end of the day we don't like it no matter what you say. But at least they'd have my respect. So if they'd have come out and said, look, by doing this, we can get more people in the ground, and we can make a bit more money. But also, the London Stadium, it'll be easy for them to build and take apart.
Yeah.
Then people will fully understand it. Because the real reason that this is happening has got all to do with West Ham in reality. It's the owners of the stadium want to find a way, and they have found a way, of getting the seating built quicker and dismantled quicker to enable it to move.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm actually going to come out of retirement to write a story on this. Because
where will you put that story?
On Claret Hugh. Because I do feel, well, this affects me personally, and I do feel
all 4 rows.
They've marketed this wrong. I agree with Nigel. Sell it like it is. Don't fluff it up and talk about, we will get more cash from selling it to rich people, the plush seats with their name on, and therefore we can spend more on transfers. That's the way they should have sold it. And we're going to move a few people close to the pitch, but not very many. The gap's going to be there, but don't worry about that.
But they won't pay more on transfers based on what they get from that, will they? Let's face it.
Well, it all helps, right? It's all relative, John. At the end, and actually, if we go on to transfers, because I got an update on that.
Hold up, then. Let's quickly, while we're here then. So 2,500 extra seats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
and 5% across the board on the other.
Right, hold up, forget that. Yeah, because we're talking about the West Ham reconfiguration here.
Yeah.
So 2,500 extra seats. At what price? I think it was 1,200 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So what? How much is that then? Let's quickly do the sums.
But European games and cup games and
no. We're not. We're talking about this per season. This is how they're selling it.
How many seats?
3 million.
3
million. 3 million.
3
right,
million
so we
seats.
can buy a Craig Dawson. Well, if we can find
3
another
million
Craig Dawson.
Really, 3 million a year for the 1,200 times 2,500 is 3 million.
There you go.
How many more seats are they making?
2,500.
2,500.
But that's if they are all premium.
No, I don't think they are.
No, they are.
Interestingly, I know I made a little joke because I like making jokes about Band 6, but Band
You
6...
do understand jokes are supposed to be funny, though.
I know, and I'm the least funny person. Band 6, look, that was my picture I took of those seats in front of the scaffolding, but some people did think it was true on April Fool's Day. Anyway, Band 6 is the very last rows, maybe the last 2 to 3 rows, right at the back of the north and west. And there's this thin line that's going to be Band 6 that's 299. Now, they've always made a big thing about, we're the cheapest, we've got the cheapest season tickets in the Premier League, right? But they were in danger of losing that. And they've also sort of said, some people only have a few seats at that price, unlike us who've got tens of thousands. Well, they seem to be playing the same game as everyone else now. By, I don't know, 500, maybe 1,000. I don't know how many tickets are. But creating that new Band 6. And I think, if I was unkind, I would say it's a marketing gimmick as well. Just to say that we've got the
and
cheapest
this is the
tickets.
thing, Sean. I don't want to. According to the information I'm looking at, from August 2021,
Yeah.
West Ham's cheapest season ticket is £320. Manchester City's cheapest season ticket is £325.
Yeah.
So we have already got the cheapest season ticket.
Well, possibly, but I'm just having a look. What the cheapest... I'm just looking...
So I'm looking at the cheapest season ticket of every club in the Premier League. Arsenal's is 891. Tottenham's is 807. This is cheapest. Liverpool 685. Chelsea 595. We should have done the old pop pickers. 549. Wolves 545. Brighton. Manchester United 532. Norwich 499. Watford 496. Palace 435. Everton 420. Brentford 419. Newcastle 417. Southampton 399. Burnley 390. Villa 370. Leicester 365. Leeds 349. City 325. West Ham 320.
So what is our price now in those seats, though?
320. So no.
Right,
yes, no.
Here we go.
It'll go to 335.
Right. And
but what if Man City put their prices up?
Well, I guess they didn't want to take that chance. Man City might freeze theirs, in which case, this is why I say some marketing. They're making sure we're the cheapest by a small number at 299. I really do.
But this is the thing, and the true, when you look at the statements that have come out about the reconfiguration, the season ticket renewal, it's almost from the Tory playbook of what to do when you're in a bit of a pickle, how to dress it up,
Don't bring politics into this.
No, but it is, and when you look at it and you read what they've said about the reconfiguration to what the truth is, it's almost like the Tory playbook. It's almost like, no, we followed the rules. We may have attended parties that were illegal, but we followed the rules. And they keep saying it, even though everybody knows they broke the rules. The official line is, but we followed the rules.
Anyway,
So
let's
it's
keep
like
away
Russia
from politics,
saying,
religion.
Well, all right. Well, let's just say it's like Russia saying, "Oh no, we didn't fire that missile," even though we know it's a Russian missile. They will deny it, and this is what West Ham do, and they treat the people like frigging idiots. And I don't get it. I don't get why they keep doing it, because they know we're not stupid.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
know
look,
we
I
will
don't
see
know
through
whether.
it.
So, for the sake of 30 quid, are you really going to go in the back row?
No.
Are you that desperate on a Band 6
No.
that you're going to go, oh, well, I can't afford 330, but I can afford the 299 tickets? I mean...
No, it opens the door. I don't know. I don't know why they've done. When you look at it and you think, Why have you done that?
I
Why is
think
it not
for
just a
future
band
proof to
5?
keep it at 299 while other ones increase over time. That's what I think. And they
I
can
just,
still
at
say,
the end of the day, I've said it for ages. I think it's bonkers. If we want to sell 66,000 seats, let us just bloody sell them.
I
Put
think
the toilets in
the,
and the capacity in.
I think, right, and I think this will directly affect me. Bit by bit, they're going to make the lower bowl a premium place. The money will go up and the money will go up, and they'll drive all the people.
But
I'm
that's-
paying
but- and this is
650
the thing,
to
Sean,
the
but-
upper where you are, and say, well, actually, if you want to watch football cheaply, go into the gods. If you want to watch proper the lower things, you've got to pay £1,000. I think they've got aspirations to charge what Spurs and Arsenal and Chelsea are.
Yeah, but that's sad. That what they did was, and this is where how silly it was, is because they did the price banding as if they were at Upton Park,
Yeah.
where it went down and upstairs. What they failed to realise is when I sat upstairs in the Trevor Brooking Upper, row 3, I was 10 foot from the touchline, 30 foot from the air. Yeah. Now that was band 4. Now, the weird thing about it is I'm band 5, and literally 30 seats to my left
Yeah.
is band 3. Not,
Yeah, I remember.
So you've got someone paying double what I'm paying, and he's virtually got the same view as me.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, how can that be allowed?
Yeah.
And they've realised, obviously, people want to be downstairs. So you're possibly right in what they're trying to do. They're trying to gerrymander it. That downstairs, is the premium seating. It's where people want to be.
I'll tell you one thing that West Ham will not be that are in advantage compared to other clubs. Do you know what
Yeah.
that is?
Our electric bill don't
Yeah.
go up.
Yeah.
I do know, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think a lot of clubs will see their energy prices rise by several £1 million
Yeah.
for the stadium. In the way our deal's done, there is no clawback for the price of electricity.
Mm.
And the bill, I mean, it's a public record. How much they spend millions.
While we laugh, that's the London taxpayers picking the bill
It
up,
is, yeah.
which I think none of us are, strangely enough.
So, there will millions probably from taxpayers' money to fund the increased electricity and heating costs of the London Stadium. Hey, but that's it. That's the way it goes. Any more news stories before we move on to question time?
Not that I can think of.
No news, but if we get knocked out on Thursday, is that our season over?
We can go back to the curry club, John. Although I don't eat saturated fats anymore, of course, but I'm sure I could pick at a chicken leg or something.
I'm not. It depends. Like the results have gone so strangely recently, and that's why I think Brentford was a disappointment. I sort of made a light of it in a tweet that some people took umbrage on. Some didn't. Is that
do you
before
need
the
to make
game-
an apology?
Well, no. Some before the game, people were thinking, "Win this, we can go top 4." And when we lost it, like it's doom and gloom. We should have bought a striker in January, and if we finish top 8, the season's been a waste of time. And you think to finish 6th and 8th, 2 seasons running, is actually an improvement for West Ham United.
I can understand both views of that. I can understand. I know kind of know how you come about things like well, we shouldn't go there, deserve to win. We'd normally draw, and we should be happy with a draw and all that sort of attitude. But I can also understand how people feel that this season again is another missed opportunity. I can understand that. I mean, whilst I accept it all and in Moyes we trust and all this sort of stuff, I do think you should be allowed to sort of criticise the fact that we didn't strengthen. We clearly needed to, and if we had a strengthened, we would have been doing better than we are now. You know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you say we'd have been doing better than we are now. We're sitting 6.
Yeah.
You know, with 3
Well,
points.
well,
like,
we've given like 6 points to Brentford. We've done. I mean,
Yeah.
we just rolled over against Tottenham, and we just, you can see. I mean, Souček is a shadow of the player he was. You can see how these players have barely got anything left in them, and to be able to put a team out on Saturday with 7 changes like Lyon have done, and still compete would have been, a good thing to be able to do. And
but why don't people ever say, "Oh, I think Salah needs a rest"?
Well, they are saying that at the moment
Are they?
because he hasn't scored for 12 games or something. So, but I just we have literally. What was that game the other day where they said that we'd played 12 more games than Spurs or something? You can see it in our players. You can definitely see especially like on Sunday again.
Do you not
you
think
can see it in
footballers should
them.
be able to play 2 games a week?
I think they should be able to, but you've got to bear in mind that this year particularly, after the COVID and all that, they pretty much played all the way through. They've played all the way through the summer, all the Euros. I think they only had like 2 weeks off.
My heart bleeds for them.
No, I know, but you can see it. It's not just the physical, is it? It's the mental strength and the
Yeah.
I
Harry
can
Kane
understand.
looked like he was blowing out of his arse walking around Augusta National yesterday, I tell you.
Anyway,
I can understand the point of view. We could be doing better, but I'm like, great. We're doing great. That's great, but we could have been
I
doing
think
better.
60% of this team were the team that was fighting 2 years ago to stay in this division.
Yeah.
And I think, and this is where I go, I think people don't realise that I won't criticise Moyes or whatever, because if you've got a squad of players that's performing so badly, they look like they're going down, yet the same core group of players perform so well that the next season they get us into Europe. The season after, they've took us to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Cup. They took us to the quarter-finals of the League Cup. Oh, they took us to the quarter-finals of the FA Cup. No, we didn't. We lost out in the quarter-finals.
No,
we
we
lost
lost out, yeah.
to the 5th round then of the FA Cup. So we've had 3 good cup runs on top of what the league performance, which people know I can rattle these stats off. The 6 best seasons West Ham had finished previously in their history. The season after, they never finished in the top 10. So every time they set the bar, the season after, it came crashing down. Well, last season was the best ever, points-wise, goals-wise, goal difference-wise. The only thing it weren't better was we didn't finish 5th like Harry did, which Harry did with conceding a minus of 5 goals, I think, and did it with 57 points. So when you look at it, even if we finish 7th, so if we go, what did we finish last season?
I think is where we were. We were 6th last season,
Yeah.
weren't we?
So if we can go 6th, then 7th, and if the 6 teams that are above us are Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Tottenham, then I'm sorry, that is an outstanding achievement to be the best of the rest.
I totally agree. I don't disagree with that at all. But I'd still understand if we'd have got a couple of players in January.
Yeah, I'm sure
it
we
would
could
have made
sit.
a difference. We might have had an extra win here or there, and
And I prefer people to do that at the end of the season. And I will sit at the end of the season, and I could probably tell you now. Do I think January they missed out on something? Of course they did. And the one thing for me is it puts more pressure on the summer.
Yeah.
When you've got the ability to bring 2 players in, and the excuse he made was he wanted to bring first teamers in. Well, do you know what? Sometimes you have to strengthen your bench, because how can you stand there and tell us you're in favour of 5 substitutions when you only make 1 in a game?
Yeah. And, and the others, you look at it as well. No one else stands still. No, Man United won't be this bad next season,
No.
surely.
No.
Teams like Palace are on an upward curve. I mean, Vieira's doing a great job there, and I mean they've got a young, hungry team with a lot of striking options, and I mean they're going to be tougher next. We're going to be up against it again next season.
Oh, we're dining off the early season form where goals seem to be aplenty. Most of our goals were scored at the start of the season, not now.
Yeah.
But with a tired team, I don't know. I think footballers should be expected to play 2 games a week.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Anything else
let's
before
hope we
do question
do it
time? You want to say anything about Ronaldo knocking the mobile out an autistic child's hand?
That's what I said, a child abuser earlier, didn't I?
He was autistic, wasn't he?
He was his mum come out, gave a statement. He's autistic. Apparently, Ronaldo then was after, and this is the thing, and I always see, and I was surprised with Ronaldo. I don't understand why he did it, but they've been beat. There's a lot of criticism. He hasn't been playing. He's got a bad studding on his leg. Everton players are filming them as they're walking off. At the end of the day, autism's sort of like an invisible disability as well. So he wouldn't have looked at him and gone, "Oh, he's autistic," because you don't do that. So, but I think that he should have realised what he'd done when he got in the changing room, and Man United could have put out an apology before his mum went to the newspapers and pointed out that he was an autistic boy. And I think you can see that this ain't one of them. She's not claiming it. The boy, apparently Ronaldo said, "Oh, you can come to a game and whatever."
Well, I know that adds salt to injury. So not only did he knock his phone out his hand, he then offers him free tickets to watch Man United. I mean, what punishment is that?
What he should be doing is buying him an iPhone,
a brand new iPhone,
iPhone 13, having a photograph done, apologising with the boy. But it's quite possible that the boy will want to have nothing to do with it because he will not be dazzled.
Yeah.
And in a way, I support the kid and the family wholeheartedly in that stance. Yeah. Because there's so many great videos of Ronaldo and the way he treats kids behind the scenes. And I understand, I can sort of allow him the frustration of the moment. But the fact that Man United didn't deal with it quick enough for me.
Taxi drivers in Dublin, they're either Liverpool or Manchester, right? And the Manchester ones say Ronaldo's ruined our club by coming back. He should never come back. He's big time Charlie. He's ruined the dressing room. He's part of the problem. He wasn't part of the solution. He shouldn't have come back. That's what Irish Man United fans are saying.
What did you say to that?
When I'm West Ham, I don't care about Ronaldo. Anything that makes other teams weaker is great with me. Liverpool is the biggest club in Dublin by a long way.
Well, what I'd say to that is, I think Ronaldo would have been very happy playing for Man City, but Fergie wouldn't have nothing to do with it. So if you remember rightly,
what's Fergie got to do with it?
Because Fergie rang him up and turned around and went, "You can't go and play for Man City."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he still has that power over him.
What, over Ronaldo? Yeah.
He earns £20 million a year, Fergie, by the way. How much do you reckon for 20 days' work being an ambassador? Do you reckon he gets from Man United, Fergie?
Listen, you can't knock the...
How much do you think he gets as an ambassador?
Well, you've just said he gets £20 million a year.
20 million for all the stuff. So it's 20 million, by the way, not from Man United, but for his book deals, for his after-dinner speaking, for his advisory roles, all of that. How much does he get paid for the 19 games that he's a club ambassador?
19 million.
No.
I'll go 18.
No. 2 million.
Oh, right.
Basically gets 100 grand for every game he attends to be an ambassador, just to be a figurehead. I don't even think he has to go around shaking people's hands.
But hold on, and let's get it right, it's the club that, if Arsenal and the Emirates is the club that Wenger built, then modern day Man United is the club that Fergie built.
I understand, but do you know what does Trevor Brooking get for being ambassador?
Well, he got a few coins, didn't he?
He gets
Against
50
Burnley.
grand. 50 grand a year. And do you know what the other legends get?
No, not really sure.
What? No, go
About 400 quid a game.
Oh,
on. All right.
So,
I'd do it.
you know, each to their own, but, you know, I think Fergie's done all right, getting £2 million from being ambassador and another 18 million for his afternoon speaking, his book deals and whatever he does, you know. Well done. Well done. Anyway,
Well,
it's time
alright.
for this. No, I've done it again.
well, can I just point out?
Go
Look,
on.
don't bother. Obviously, people won't know. It took me 3 hours to get home. I've literally run in the house and run down the shed. After
There is
sitting in
no
traffic.
there
So
is no
we've got
question
some
about it.
questions on Twitter.
Go on then. Oh, we'll
And-
still play it. Yeah, so we nearly didn't have a podcast tonight just to,
Yeah.
even though he had one job, he's 4 hours or 5 hours to get home. So probably back to normal next week.
Yeah, East London was not the place to be today. John Goodman says, I'm really excited about next season. Couple of new players. Moyes has provided what he can do with a small squad, or probably proved. We have had a great season, whatever happens. Please just enjoy it. Don't look back when we're struggling to get in the playoffs in years thinking 21-22, what a season.
Don't look back in anger.
Yeah,
I had
that's
to
true.
say.
Dan 3160 43 40 3H today says, who is paying for these stadium alterations with the main stand? You can't polish a turd. Brady out.
Well, the London
Brady
Stadium
out.
are, but ultimately that money comes from LLDC, and ultimately that money comes from the London Assembly and the London Mayor, and ultimately it comes from every London taxpayer, but not myself, because I don't live in London, and not John, because he doesn't live in London anymore. So Nigel, you're in a London borough, so you're paying for it.
Right, thanks for that.
Are you though?
No,
You're not in a London borough.
no.
Oh, so none of us. Are
Across the
paying
roadies.
for it.
It's that close.
Me too. So I live in Leatherhead, and that's not. But Chessington is the next, and that is a London borough. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
we don't pay the London borough levy.
Yeah, no, not.
Right. So
But
none of us.
would they get a cut though, or the extra? Because what? And this is the thing. So the
No.
London Stadium are going to
No.
be paying out to do all this reconfiguration to allow West Ham to earn more money. Something don't seem right there.
So look, there can be slight amendments. So when they went up before from 54,000, there was a slight cut. But the idea, though, is that they will make more money from advertising and catering.
Right. Okay.
More people look at advertising, your advertising rates go up, the more people obviously drinking and eating, the profits go up, which are shared with London Stadium. But ultimately, they're just interested. They need West Ham to sign off on it because they want to reduce the £4 million it costs to move the seats, the scaffolding and cable ties and breeze blocks.
Right.
True
okay.
story.
All right. Ian Gravitt on Twitter has got a couple of things. He says, evening, you lovely peeps. He's just watched the under-23s today. I was blown away by Longhello, Elise and Chester's. Longhello scored after being pushed up into the left wing, a natural left-footed player. So I ask, why don't we give kids a chance? He carried on. The team played well. He heard Gonzo saying that Longhello may be used in exchange for Worrell at Forest. According to another report, we're scouting Josh Cullen. If so, and which is true, I did see this story. If so, did we insert a buyback clause with Anderlecht?
First I've heard of it, but I'm
Oh right, it was reported in mainstream media, Sean.
Right. Well, I'll find out about that. Literally, I've just jumped off a plane, so Let me ease myself back into the West Ham
bubble.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I've got no plans to go abroad in this month.
This month?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going away for
Country is
Easter, but I'm
blessed.
staying in this country.
The country is blessed.
I know, right?
I know. And that's it.
Great. Well, 2 games. Lyon and then Burnley. Let's start with you, Nigel. Oh, and we lose him. Let's start with you, Nigel.
Yep. I'm back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
I
But it's not
disappeared then.
Sean, John.
Is
I
it
just-
not?
Well,
No,
maybe I need to get.
It must be
fixed
me and
into
you.
him. Yeah.
The fact that me and you keep dropping off, it's got to be like our fault. That
Yeah.
Even though when I ordered it,
I thought you just had a massive
It
installation.
is, yeah. It's 900 meg download, but the Wi-Fi is the older bit, so maybe I need to do a fixed link next week.
Oh, you on Wi-Fi?
You're on
Yeah,
Wi-Fi.
I'm on
Why are
Wi-Fi.
you using
Even
Wi-Fi?
me in my shed is on
Ethernet.
Is on cable.
Yeah, I should do
Yeah.
Ethernet. Yeah, school.
I'm on Ethernet as well.
Yeah, I should do. I will next week. I'll connect on Ethernet. But anyway, let's not look behind the curtain. A Wizard of Oz.
Right. So predictions.
Yeah.
I'll predict penalty shootout against Lyon, and it's a lottery.
Oh,
Oof.
That's what I predict.
Who wins?
I don't know.
No, you
I
have
don't
to.
know.
You have to say.
I'll go for us on penalties.
Okay.
I fancy Areola.
Okay. Right, that's nice
Not
to
like
know.
that, Peter.
And
Not that I wouldn't. If I
and
was,
Burnley?
but I wouldn't. But just,
I predict a riot.
just
You going?
Don't go there,
you
people.
keep digging, no?
I like everyone.
You going Sunday?
Apart from Garen Brady. Slag.
Brady
Allegedly.
out.
Yeah.
You going on Sunday?
Um,
Easter Sunday?
I'll probably make my mind up. John may giggle at this.
What?
There's a reason.
You're going to miss a game?
Oh, right, there is a reason. And
You're
John
not going
may
to try and
giggle.
finish your kitchen, are you?
No, it's even worse, John. I don't.
Romantic dinner. I
when-
know it's a musical. You're going to the Masked
No.
Singer.
It's more DIY. So basically, I had a few loose deck boards on the first shed's deck that I built 5 years ago. So then I thought, So I bought some deck boards to replace, and I lifted up, and the timber's underneath.
Oh, you remember you telling us? But,
Yeah,
But you
rotten.
got 4 days off at Easter, right?
Yeah.
Good Friday.
Yeah, but what happened then is, I don't remember when I did this. John, is that when I built it, I just laid the timbers in the dirt.
Yeah.
And yeah, so John
So
knows.
why can't you give up 4 hours on a Sunday?
Well, because what I've started doing now is I've lifted all the deck up, and then I thought, fuck it, I've got to dig it all out now. So I started digging all the dirt out under the deck, and I've got to remove.
I never thought I'd hear that you're prioritising DIY
So-
over a game.
Well, it's all to do with a baby shower that's going to be held soon. and
Oh,
the new deck's
here
gotta
we
be
go.
done.
Here's the real reason.
And I need to make sure this is done.
Sam
As
wears
well
the
as-
trousers, as we always thought she did.
I've never denied it.
Don't they all?
Yeah.
Don't they all? Right. So
Burnley.
Burnley.
I think another bridge too far. I
Ooh.
think a 2-0 defeat.
Oh shit. John, Leon, Burnley.
I think we're going to beat Lyon 2-1, and I think we will lose 2-0 to Burnley.
Okay.
Burnley are in dire, and they're desperate for the win.
I'm
we
look
will be
objectively at this, and I say we're going to win 1-0 in normal time, not go to penalties against Lyon. Away goals don't count, and we will beat Burnley. We will come back and beat them 1-0 as well, with a penalty. And 2 wins in a week, and we're going to be happy bunnies. We probably won't record on Bank Holiday Monday, I would imagine. I'm going away for a few days. I'm coming back for the Sunday for the game, but out on the Monday. So we're recording it Tuesday, I say. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we'll fit in around your life, don't
Yeah, Well, are you doing it? It's Bank Holiday Monday. Traditionally, we don't record on a Bank Holiday Monday. Religious reasons.
Yeah.
I've been Sean. Nigel has been.
Knackered.
I bet, yeah. And John's been.
Just happy to be here, Sean.
Bye. Come on, you
Bobby
lions.
More than just a podcast. Bobby More than just a podcast.
1 hour 15. Wow. George missed it.
That's all, folks.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good,
It
though.
could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!